My name is Alfonso Rodriguez. I'm a realtor. I also go by Fonz, so you can call me Realtor Fonz. First steps to buying a house, something that you can take with you and do on your own, or partner up with a realtor like myself to help you through the process. I've narrowed it down to 10 steps that you can get some value from and know which direction to go. So one of the things I also wanted to point out too is the importance of consulting with a realtor. Now, like myself, who is a realtor, this is a free service that I offer, and on top of that, what I like to do is do a free home buyer's consult. Whether you've been a first-time home buyer or you purchased a home before, that always is a good idea to start out with. But let's go ahead and dive into what it takes to buy a home, starting off with step number one, which is figuring out what you can afford and what you can qualify for. So a lot of the times, those two are different things. Whenever you go to a lender and they pre-qualify you, they're qualifying you for the maximum amount that you can borrow. Now they might be not always the the most affordable for you. So one thing to consider is that what's affordable to you, and I always like to approach it in that way. It's like, what kind of mortgage payment is going to be comfortable with you. One thing to note now with mortgage payments is that the mortgage payments are going to have your homeowner's insurance and your property taxes escrowed into your payment. So along with principal and interest, you're going to also be paying your property taxes and homeowner's insurance all in one bundle. So it's one thing to consider when you're looking at your payment overall, because it also includes those two things. All right, so number two on the steps towards buying a house is figuring out the type of home that you can imagine yourself living in, whether that's a single-story home or a two-story home, a house that's in the community with an HOA or no HOA, what the benefits are those two, how many bedrooms you want, the lot size, the neighborhood, school districts, etc., you name it. What I like to do is I have a form that I have with all the clients that I work with to sort of go through those step by step, so you can really narrow down what you're looking for, so you can maximize your time on filtering out the houses that you really don't want to, what you really don't see yourself living in, and only getting the homes that meet your criteria. And I find that that's the best way for you to actually find the dream home that you want and that you can live in for years to come and have family come over and all that fun stuff. All right, so step number three is very similar to step number two, except it has to do with geographically where you're located. Maybe you want to be close to where your work's at, or you want to be close to other family members. So figuring out what areas of town that you want to be in, and partnering up with that, what you can afford and the type of home you're looking for will help you really drill down on all the thousands of homes that are out there for sale, and really get that dream home dialed in. So that's step number three on steps to buy a home. All right, so step number four is when you go out and start viewing homes. Now, I highly recommend you don't start doing this until you get a pre-approval, because what I see happen all the time when people don't get their pre-approval first is that they'll come across their dream home, the home that meets all their criteria, and they're not ready to put in an offer. And then they do all the steps to get their pre-approval, and then by the time they go back to be able to put in an offer, it's already on the contract. So step number four on steps to buying a house is to go out there and start seeing the homes. And then get a really feel of what the neighborhood's about, and start seeing different type of floor plans, what you like and what you don't like, and that'll also help you narrow down the choices that are out there, the many choices. Now, this is where usually you would partner up with a realtor. You can also contact the selling realtor if they have one to show you the home, but really you're going to want somebody looking after your best interest that's an expert in the area and the expert on what to look for when you're going out and showing these homes. So that's when you're going to want to contact a realtor that you know and trust. If you don't have one, I'd be happy to help you out with that. Just give me a call. I can interview and see if I'm the right realtor for you. And if not, I can definitely recommend you to somebody else. But step 4, start going out, seeing the homes, see what you like. All right, so step number 5, this is where you find your home and everything else is exactly the way you want it to be. It's the right location, right school, right floor plan, right price, and you want to go ahead and make an offer. Now, this is something that, again, that you can do by yourself. It's highly recommended that you have a professional walk you through the process, prepare all the documents, and then come up with a strategy on what works best for you. So there's a lot of different ways to make an offer that a trained realtor, experienced realtor like myself can help you navigate through and come up with the terms that is best for you. So maybe you want to close in like 45 days, or maybe you want the seller to help contribute towards your closing cost, or you want to negotiate on the price a little bit. Maybe you saw some repairs. There's a lot of different ways to sort of make that approach on making an offer, but that's step number 5, and it's the one where most people have that sort of leap of faith, like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna make an offer because this is the house I want. You start getting, attached to the home. You start seeing yourself living in it, and it's one of the more important steps. So that's step number 5 on steps to buying a house. All right, so step number 6. This is when your home or your offer on the house has been accepted. Congratulations. Now you're on to getting the home inspected. Now, the reason why you're gonna wanna have it inspected is because you wanna make sure that all aspects of the home is going to be okay. Now, an inspector is just somebody that goes in and does a sort of quick overview of the house. They are licensed and trained to be able to spot different things. But if you want a specific professional to come in to inspect the foundation, or a plumber, or an electrician, that's something outside that you're gonna have to do in addition to the inspector. Now, the inspector is gonna come in and they're gonna note different things, and you're gonna get a full report of what they found in the house. And they're gonna recommend you to get one of the trade professionals to come in here and have a second opinion. Hopefully your inspection goes good and there isn't really too many issues. And again, this is one of the things where I highly recommend having a trained professional sort of walk you through that process and let you know what to expect, and help you with the right resources on getting the people in there to give you the inspection, and give you that peace of mind that, hey, when you buy that house, or when you close on that house, you're not gonna have any issues with it. Or you never know, being a homeowner, things happen, along the way. But you wanna be able to know in good faith that the home is in great condition and it's not all beat up, and as soon as you move in, you're gonna start having leaky pipes with the foundation, or electrical issues down the line. So getting your home inspected, definitely a must. And oh, by the way, it's gonna be an out-of-pocket expense to you, because it's a service done for the buyers. So that's step number 6 towards buying a house. And then now we're gonna go on to step number 7. All right, so step number 7, this is after you've gotten the inspection, you got the report. This is where you would partner up with the realtor to sort of figure out the main concerns of your home, whether it be safety, cosmetics, or anything else that you're gonna want to have the seller either remedy, fix before you guys close on the home, or give you some kind of credit. Now, I always recommend having the seller bring in a licensed professional. Let's say, for example, the roof is missing some shingles, or needs something done. Well, then you're gonna want a licensed roofer to come in and fix that and provide you with proof that it was fixed before you guys move in, so you can have that peace of mind. And a realtor, trained realtor like myself, is going to be able to navigate through that, prepare all the documents, and hold the seller accountable to make sure that that's done before you guys close, because there's certain clauses in the if you do it right, there's certain clauses to sort of make sure that they do it, instead of promising they do it and then do it on the cheap, or try to do it themselves. You're going to want a professional to go out there and do it, and a licensed, trained realtor like myself is going to be able to help walk you through that. All right, so step number 8, this is after you've already negotiated any kind of repairs or credits from the seller to cover some of the concerns that you found in your inspection report. you're going to want to get your lender to order the appraisal ASAP. That usually takes about a week for the appraiser to go out and do an assessment on what the third party opinion on what the home is worth. So I'll give you an example of why that's important. Let's say, for example, the home was listed and you guys made the offer for $200,000 and the appraiser comes in. You're going to have the appraiser appraise it at or above the $200,000 mark. If it comes in below, well, then you're going to have a problem that you're going to need to go back with the seller and either negotiate some kind of price reduction, or you pay the difference from the appraisal amount to what you've made on the offer. Again, this is something where a licensed realtor will be able to help you out with. If you're doing it yourself, then it's something you can still do, and hopefully this will give you some little bit of guidance on what happens. But most of the time, if you do your work ahead of time before you make that offer, then you already know more or less what the comparable homes are selling for in the area before you make that offer, to make sure that you're making a fair offer to yourself, and then you're not overpaying for the house. And that's something that I do for all the clients that I work with, is I give them a CMA report on the houses around the house that they're making an offer on, so they know with confidence going in that down the line with the appraisal, you're not going to have any issues. But get with your lender after you've got all that hashed out with the inspection and the repair request to get the appraisal ordered, so that way you can go on to the next step. All right. Step number 9, this is after you've got the appraisal and the appraisal has come back and it's met the appraisal amount and you're good to go. You're going to have to partner up and work closely with your lender to make sure all your documents are in order, to get the initial underwriter approval, so that way you can set a close date and go to closing with full confidence that you're not going to have any issues with your lender or the funding after you guys sign. So this is something where your realtor can help you facilitate this process and then work with the lender on what's needed. But usually if the lender's good and they're on top of it, they're already going to have that to you right away, and sort of get that all in place, so that way there's no hiccups with the lending, and then you guys can fund and not have any issues when the time comes to close. So the next and final step, step number 10, is closing. This is when you and the seller get together. They usually happen at different times and you don't even see the seller. But this is where you go to the title company and you sign all the paperwork that's required to close on the home and make you the new owner. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that the house isn't yours until both parties sign and the lender funds the sale, which means whoever lender you're working with, they wire the money to the title company. Once that happens and everybody has signed, the house is yours. And congratulations, you get the keys. Now you can start moving in. All right, so now that I've gone through all the 10 steps on what it takes to buy a house, first steps to buying a home, I wanted to give you some closing thoughts. Is that all these steps you can do, and I've kind of condensed it here in a very quick way to where you can get an idea of the kind of steps that it'll take to buy a home. There's a lot of little mini steps in between those steps that are kind of happen along the way that I didn't go into. But having a realtor on your side, walking you and guiding you through that process and being your trusted advisor is going to make this process very smooth and enjoyable. So I always pride myself with the people that I work with to try to take the stress off of them and put it on my shoulders, so that way I make sure that everything goes smoothly, 1. 2, that you enjoy this process, because it should be a fun process for you, buying a house for you and your family, and that you are 100% happy. So in closing, use these steps if you want to do it yourself, or you already have a realtor. Make sure that they're going through these steps with you and staying on task. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give me a call. My direct number is 512-809-0091. I'm here to help and answer questions. Of course, if you already have a realtor, go ahead and consult with them, because they're the ones that are going to be helping you out through this process and be in the trenches with you to make sure that house becomes yours. So leave your comments, questions below if you're on YouTube. If you're on my website, go ahead and fill in the contact box below if you want me to reach out to you and go over into more details of some of the things that I've talked about here in this video. And I wish you the best of luck, whether you decide to work with me or a different realtor. Buying a home is a special time, and I always love being a part of it.